Hey everyone, I'm back with another YouTube video on the graphics tablet, the Huion H610 Pro V2. Since you guys wanted a follow-up or a continuation video where I reviewed the tablet again after 6 months of usage, yeah, it has been 6 months so far. I bought it on January of this year, and I had made a unboxing and review video on it, analyzing it in detail as well as testing it out. So today I'm going to be reviewing it once again, but after I've used it for that duration of time, and I'll also be answering some questions that I've frequently received in the comment section, and addressing any bugs or issues I've encountered. So yeah, if you're interested, keep on watching. I'll make sure to leave timestamps so that way you can skip to any section you want to know about specifically. Yeah, that's all. Also, thanks a lot for all the views on that video. I did not expect to receive that many, as well as the likes and the new subscribers I've gotten. It means a lot to me. I was really surprised. I really didn't think I'd get that far, but yeah, thanks a lot. So keep on watching. Also, enjoy this little speed paint I have on the background. It's a concept a friend and I came up with while joking in a conversation. So I'll be drawing her while voicing over, and the program used here is MS Paint. First things first, I'm going to show you guys how to properly install the drivers, because I didn't really go into detail in that in the last video, and I've seen that you guys had some issues installing the drivers as well. So what you're going to do first is go onto the Huion website, huion.com/download, to find the driver installation page, or you could just type up Huion drivers on Google, and it should be the first link to pop up. Once you're on that page, you want to look for the product model, and in our case, it's the H610 Pro V2. Should be somewhere here. 610, no, we have the Pro V2, there it is. Now you want to select the OS, and it's either Windows or Mac OS, and I'll go into the Q&A later, but I'll just answer this one right now. It should work on any kind of device that supports these two OSs. So, for example, I had a comment asking if it works on a Chromebook. I did a quick search, and looking at the page where, on the supported devices page of Huion, it said that Chromebooks do work on it. So yeah, you just want to select Windows, in my case. And what you want to do is get the driver. You can get the manual if you'd like, but I didn't. I find it useless, unless you want it. But yeah, we're looking for the drivers now. You want to click submit, and you're gonna go for the latest one, which is this one. Oh, there seems to be an update. So you want to download it. I fully uninstalled my driver so that I can go through the process with you guys. I'll pause the video until it downloads. Okay, so once it's downloaded, you're going to have a zip file which you can easily extract using WinRAR. WinRAR is a free tool you can download off their official website, win-rar.com, and you're just going to click download WinRAR, and if you have a 30-bit version, you make sure to click on that, and then you click on this again, and it should start automatically. Once you've got WinRAR installed up and ready to use, you want to extract the file that's in here to any driver you'd like. I made a folder specifically for it called driver. And then you want to make sure you open it and run as administrator. So you right click on the file and run as admin. In here it says, before installing the driver, please close all graphic software and antivirus program. So if you have an antivirus software, you want to disable it until the installation is done, and or just exit out of it if you're able to do that. And if you have any drawing tools open, you want to close those too. So I have both of those done already. And then you just click OK, and it'll start installing. Also, if you are updating from a previous driver, you want to make sure you've uninstalled everything beforehand that's related to the driver. For instance, on Windows, you would go on to Control Panel, and then Programs and Features, and uninstall a program, and then you find the driver, which should be called Huion driver, and you uninstall it from there. It should get rid of all of the files that are related to the driver. If not, you go onto Local Disk, then you go to Windows. Now make sure you're very careful with these files. They're very important, especially what's in System 32. And so when you go in there, you want to look for a file called wintap32.dll, and if that's in there, you want to delete it. If not, then it's already been deleted. And once that's done, you're practically set to install a new driver. There should also be a WinTablet, I think, or a tablet driver folder in here somewhere. But if it's not, then again, that means it's already been deleted after you've uninstalled it from the control panel. Now going back to the installation, you make sure you have this checked and you click on Install Now. It should be really fast, and once it says installation complete, you want to exit out of it instead of clicking on trying it now. And one thing I forgot to mention is that you need to have your tablet plugged out. So, I mean, make sure it isn't plugged in yet until you're already done installing the drivers. Now the final step is to restart your computer. This may be necessary for some and others not. For me, I think I should. So I'm going to pause the video until I restart my computer, and I'll boot it back up and come back to you guys. And if you are going to restart your computer, make sure you don't plug your tablet in just yet until it restarts, and then you plug it in. Otherwise, you can just plug it in directly and test it out. Okay, so I've restarted my computer, and now I'm about to plug in the tablet. I still haven't opened up the driver thing yet. There you go. And once it's plugged in, I'll open up the Huion tablet thingy. There it is. Now this looks a lot different than the one I had previously recorded on the first video, as this is the updated version that came out June, I think. And the one I had was an earlier version. Maybe this will fix all the bugs I've been encountering, maybe. So this is exactly the tablet that we have. It's detected automatically. Earlier, I experienced errors while trying it out. It just kept on failing on me, like the driver, and I think it was because I hadn't deleted all of the files related to the older driver updates, and I needed a reboot. So yeah, that's how you install the driver. There's the pen tablet here. There's a digital pen if you want to configure the buttons, and then this is a new addition. I'm not sure what it's probably going to open up a page and show you the store webpage of Huion. On to the next chapter of this video, chapter to call it, I don't know, is the questions and answers. I've received multiple and various questions regarding the tablet, as well as tools I've used or any problems you guys have experienced, and I'll try to answer them all here. I gathered up the most frequently asked ones, as I kept on answering over and over with the same answers, so I decided I would just include a Q&A in here. And also I have the sticky notes right over Byakuya's face because I hate him. Toko is better. Anyway, so the soft keys. The soft keys on the tablet are these keys at the top. They're called soft keys for a reason, because you don't actually press on them. And I realized they were super useless to me. I barely ever touch them. No, I don't touch them at all, because it requires me to move the pen all the way up there and then tap on it with the pen, which is a hassle for me. It sounds like it's not much, but while you're drawing and having to do that over and over is not worth it. So I just decided to either put shortcuts on the hard keys on the left or just use the keyboard. However, if you want to use them, you can always set them up in here. So you press enable soft keys and you can change the shortcut for each. Up next is pen battery. Well, a question asked if this pen ever runs out of battery. It doesn't, because it doesn't have a battery. Now, there are other graphics tablets which do include a battery in the pen and requires you to charge it after a while, but this one thankfully does not, which I really enjoy, because I don't want it running out of battery while I'm drawing, and also I am the type who doesn't charge their things even if they die off my phone. Well, obviously except for drawing. Anyway, pen tilt. So this is a feature in graphics tablets and like the pens, is while you're drawing, if you tilt it a certain way, just like on paper, the brush will change. The brush might change significantly depending on your settings. Now, I don't really pay attention to this, as it doesn't really work on, say, Paint Tool Side, the the program I use, but on Photoshop it does have a it does have an effect. Next up is, does it work with different kinds of software? Now, I've received multiple comments about asking me if they worked on, say, Adobe Illustrator or on, I don't know, something called Figma. I've never even heard of this aside from the figure company. But as far as it goes, I've tested it on like 5 or 6 different kinds of programs, and it all works like a charm. It's a graphics tablet. It's supposed to work anywhere that on any program that supports pen pressure and the use of graphics tablets. So on here I've got my 3 Adobe programs that I use. I mainly use Photoshop. After Effects is just for edits, so I don't really use the pen much on there. Photoshop though, I use it for any kinds of effects I want to add to my art pieces, or even if I draw on it sometimes, which is rare, but it still works. And animate is if I ever decide to animate or something, which is once in a blue moon. Yeah, it works perfectly. Another program I started frequently using is MS Paint, but we all know this thing doesn't have pen pressure, except for a few brushes I've noticed. They do have some slight pen pressure, but it's not really useful for me. I just use the pencil and the curve tools. Now, another question similar to it is if it works on different devices, like say a Chromebook I've seen in the comments. Yes, it works. I went on the Huion webpage and saw the list of the supported devices, and Chromebook was listed on there. It also works on Windows and Mac, as you've seen in the drivers page. I'm not sure if it works on Linux. I'll do a quick search right now and I'll put up the answer. Okay, so I've pulled up here 3 pages with the list of compatibility. In here it says that they do not have an official Linux driver, but they do have drivers available at the Huion Linux project at GitHub. And in here it shows the model supported, and the H610 here is shown, but I'm not sure if this includes the Pro V2. In here is the Huion page confirming that it does work on a Chromebook too. I can see the H610 Pro V2 listed on here alongside these 2 other models. And in here is a list of compatible Android devices because, as I've mentioned in the previous video, is that this tablet can work on mobile phones, which I've never considered before until now. And these are all the ones that work on there. Honestly, I don't even see my phone in there, but it still works. So even if you don't see yours here, you should still give it a try. Some of you guys have asked me what software I use to draw on, and I use PaintToolSci. I've been loyal to it for the past 7 years. I'm just very comfortable with it. It's simple to draw and simple to learn. I just really like it, and I'm scared to make the change, or rather too lazy to make the change to Clip Studio or something of the sort. Yeah, it just works nicely. I'll be providing a link to downloading it in the description down below, and yeah. One of the questions that you guys have asked me is related to taking notes and writing, especially for those that teach on YouTube or simply want to take digital notes. I did a quick search and looked for some note-taking apps. I came up with Microsoft OneNote, though I think it's paid. Yeah, it's from Microsoft. Then there's Evernote. I think it's free, but you have to sign up to download it. It's also on mobile. And then there's also this one I found called Nebo. And all of these are specifically for note-taking. However, you can just pull up any drawing software and take notes on it, such as Autodesk Sketchbook, or what Khan Academy uses to teach and draw on is SmoothDraw. Finally, this is a specific comment I've taken from the video. Would you recommend this to people who haven't tried digital art before, or would starting out with traditional art be better? Now my opinion on this is, if you want to go for digital art right away, you could try doing that. However, you may not feel as comfortable drawing on a computer immediately before, feeling comfortable with drawing on paper. It's kind of part of the fundamental skills to me, like, that's how you build up your skill, I mean. You gotta go to the basics and stuff. I didn't get a tablet until I got my first tablet 6 years ago, I think. But before that, I either used my mouse to draw, or I just drew on paper. If you've never drawn before, I recommend getting the feel of it on paper first, using traditional materials. And if you find yourself really enjoying it, you could get this tablet because it's really affordable. So if you end up disliking it after all, you haven't wasted much money. On to the next section of this video is the bugs I've encountered as well as any flaws I've realized this tablet has. So at the beginning, when I just bought the tablet, obviously I was very excited, and even though I tried to be as unbiased as possible as well as giving like a detailed analysis of it, I was still experiencing it firsthand and right off the bat. So it was new for me, and although I've already had experience with a previous graphics tablet, it was still new, so if I encountered any bugs, it would have been at the start or later on, which I am now going to discuss. Something I found to be really annoying to me is that since I use Paint Tool SI, and whenever I open it, it requires like admin rights, the tablet doesn't automatically have those admin privileges, so I always have to like constantly go into the settings and activate those admin privileges, and this can be bothersome if I forget to do that, and this is usually, the tablet works fine until I want to use the buttons. So I use Control Z a lot, much like any digital artist would confirm. And then when I realize the button isn't working, I have to go back into the software, the driver software, and like activate it myself. This, maybe I'm just picky or something, but it gets bothersome when you're drawing all the time. Next up is driver issues, and I'm not sure if this is because I had an outdated driver, and the latest driver just came out recently anyway, or from the tablet itself, but sometimes the driver would just glitch out and not work at all. So either the buttons don't work, even with admin privileges, or there's no pen pressure. And this is so frustrating, especially when I unplug the tablet, exit out of the driver, or even fully restart my computer and it still doesn't work. There was a huge bee buzzing out of my balcony just now. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, it just gets really annoying. I even once had to fully uninstall the driver and install it again for it to get back to start working normally again. The next issue I've noticed with this tablet that I didn't really have with my old one is that it gets dirty quite easily. Now, my hands sweat a lot while drawing, and so the stains are pretty remarkable, so I have to like constantly wipe it here and there. And I'm probably going to do a cleanup of it with like wet wipes or alcohol sort of thing to desanitize it as well. But yeah, I've noticed that it gets stained easily. And to compare with my old Wacom tablet, those stains didn't appear until years of usage. So far, I haven't noticed any scratches either, which is very good. It's been 6 months since I've had it, and I draw almost constantly, and there are no scratches. And the pen nib is still intact. It looks like it's barely been used, which is really good. That way you don't have to change the pen nib as frequently. Next up is that it's not detected sometimes. Again, this is a driver issue. I would plug and replug the tablet to no avail. It just doesn't get recognized until I perform a reboot, which of course is annoying because I like to use my PC almost all the time, and when I restart it, it sometimes wastes time because it's not the fastest computer I have. So that's a little flaw there. And finally, the soft keys are useless. I don't see the points in having them there. I've mentioned this earlier, but I don't use them at all. I find them, like, I tried getting used to them to, like, nothing. They're really inconvenient, to me at least. Maybe they work well for you, but having to, like, move the pen all the way to the top, and then press on it with the pen, and not even having that tactile response, which I really adore, it's just, inconvenient, yeah. So one of you guys in the comments said they had an issue with the work area not working properly on a mobile device, where instead of giving you a smaller work area to work with, like the vertical surface, it just uses the whole tablet surface area instead. And of course, this would be uncomfortable to draw on, especially on a smaller mobile device like a phone instead of a tablet. I found a way to fix this. You first have to make sure you have OTG or USB debugging mode enabled, and this might differ slightly on each smartphone model, but in my case I have a Huawei Y9, and what you're going to do is go into Settings, System, Developer Options, and make sure you have developer options enabled, and then you want to scroll down until you find debugging, USB debugging, and you want to turn that on. So once you've got that set up, you want to plug in your tablet using the adapter provided to you by the manufacturer when you purchase a tablet, and I've shown that in the previous video. And then you want to press on the first physical button for 3 seconds, and then it should make the switch to the work area to mobile mode. So let's try that out. Okay, and that should apparently make the switch. I looked this up and I got it on some forum where it gave that solution. I'm not sure if it's going to work for you guys, because for me it already works, and I don't know if it's going to give a sort of notification on the phone either. But yeah, it works. It stops at about right here. And the tool I have to draw on my phone, already tested it out here. I never draw on my phone. And there, it works. Pen pressure and all. Okay, if you've made it this far, that means you're at the end of the video. Congratulations on that. I'm just going to make a brief conclusion about the tablet as well as this video, and I want to start by saying thank you again for all the views and comments and likes I've received on the first review I made. I was very surprised to all of the support I've gotten and the encouragements and all of the questions that I'm very glad to answer. It seemed that it was pretty good to you guys for a first, and hopefully this one is just as good. I tried to keep the video short because I will admit that one was pretty damn long, but I really wanted to get into the details and touch in on every subject about that tablet. Hopefully this has answered your questions and helped you out. Creepy crawly bugs aside, the tablet has been working well. I still use it to this day, drawing very frequently, at least like 5 times a week or something. But yeah, so it doesn't have much damage on it, if at all. Like, there's no scratches other than the sweat marks I've mentioned, and how it gets stained easily. But if you want to keep it clean, just wipe it down once or twice a month or something, or any times it seems to get dirty. But yeah, it's a really nice tablet. Really good for its price, and Huion makes a competition against Wacom. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a nice day!